today the importance of atmosphere is being emphasized. So you see that Baba says that you show the splendor of Gyan and Yoga, and you create a powerful atmosphere through Gyan and Yoga. Now you see that how is an atmosphere created? An atmosphere is created when there is a constant attitude of something. So, if our attitude is knowledgeful and powerful all the time, our attitude all the time is loveful, peaceful, powerful, pure, then the atmosphere around us will be that of, knowledge, purity, peace, love. And if my attitude is that of a soul, if I am soul conscious, if I am in remembrance of Baba, then the atmosphere will also be such that anybody who comes in contact with that atmosphere and you tell them a little about the soul or about Baba, they will get it, because that is the atmosphere. So you see that when people want to normalize something, so they create that atmosphere. So have you seen that if even in the world you see when there is a tamo pradhan atmosphere, so when you enter into an atmosphere where everybody is engaging in activities which are very tamo pradhan, which are very degraded, so let's say people are drinking and smoking and this and that, or partying or wasting time, wasting money. When you go into that atmosphere and you stay for some time, your own buddhi also starts getting affected by that atmosphere, and the clarity that you had about what is right and wrong, it starts to get blurred, and you also start picking on the atmosphere and doing the same thing that others are doing. So let's say you enter a new office or you enter a new workplace, and in that workplace there is a culture of constantly criticizing each other or complaining about each other, and then you don't have that, you don't, as an obvious sanskar, you don't have it. But when you go into that atmosphere, after some days you realize that you are also doing the same thing that others are doing, and you are not very clear about the lines, where to draw the lines. That clarity has gone away because the atmosphere has an effect. So similarly, Baba says that if you stay constantly, because the most important thing is being constant about it. So if you are constantly in your state of knowledge and yoga, if all your thoughts, words, actions are knowledgeful and powerful, because Gyan makes you knowledgeful, Gyan makes everything accurate, and yoga makes everything powerful. So Baba says that if every action, every thought, word and deed that you carry out is knowledgeful and powerful, because you are always Jnani Yogi, then there is an atmosphere of Jnana and Yoga. And Baba says when somebody comes in contact with that atmosphere, their intellects also start getting influenced by that atmosphere. Just like these days tamopradhan atmosphere has an effect on the intellect. Similarly, this pure atmosphere that we create can influence the intellect like anything. And there is, I always, when I came into Gyan, I always had this, because I was into a government service. So, whenever you get posted anywhere, you have this sanskar of asking, what is my role, or what is my profile here? So, what do I have to do here? So when I came to Baba, and of course with Baba, you are a student, you are a child, and all that I understood. But when I was entrusted with Seva at that time, I had this question, what is my first duty here? So what Seva am I here to do, or what is my first duty or priority? And I thought about it for hours together, and I used to ask Baba, what is my main duty as a Sevadhari? And I received that answer long back. So Baba told me that your main job is to create an atmosphere of purity, peace, love, power, and knowledge. And only when you when you're constantly in that stage where every thought, every word, every deed is based on Srimad, and everything comes from a place of peace and power and love and joy, when you do that, then slowly you create that atmosphere there. And when you do that, and when there is this atmosphere, then, and in that atmosphere, when you sow the seeds of Gyan and Yoga, they sprout into flowers immediately. And that just like, when there is a ground ready, then you just have to sow the seed and it manifests into a plant. Similarly, when that atmosphere is created, then, even when, and I remember there was this one brother, and he used to come and have the course, and in the course and in the murli that followed, he used to listen to the Srimad of purity. And he used to tell me, Didi, when I listen to the murli, there's wrong with purity. So, it just makes sense to me. But once I go back home, I think about how bizarre it is that we are being told about the practice of purity in a household, and in this world where, lust is the norm. And he said, how is it that it all makes sense here, and once I go back, I'm full of doubt. So you see that the atmosphere makes it so easy to grasp. And sometimes, Baba's children, they say that when we are in the atmosphere, we feel that, I can have good yoga, and I feel the peace, the love from Baba. And other times in a different atmosphere, it's very difficult to meditate. So all this happens because we souls, when we are constantly in a state of Gyan and Yoga, then we create that atmosphere. Now, do you take that responsibility of creating that atmosphere where you are physically living? So, do you take that responsibility? Because you see that Baba says that every household has to become Baba's home, where everybody is able to feel the touch, the vibration of knowledge and power and love and peace. And are we able to create that atmosphere? And I remember there was this one sharing where it was being told that when Janki Dadiji did not know a lot of English, and in 1970, close to 1970, there was this direction from Bab Dada that now Janki Dadiji must go to London and start seva there. So, Dadi had this thought that I don't know the language. So, how can I serve in a country without knowing the language very well? So, Baba said that you don't need to know the language, you just need to create this. So, that atmosphere. So, Baba just looked around from here to there, and Baba said that just create this. What is here, you go and create there, and that is your duty, to create the atmosphere. And you see that all the seva that started in the Western world and in all the countries apart from Bharat, they all were created, that seva's foundation was laid not through words but first through creating atmosphere. Because obviously, you see, when we are in Bharat, so obviously we have a language advantage. So we know how to speak Hindi or English or any of the regional languages. But when you go to a different country, then the language, the culture, everything is very different. So what is the basis of seva? The basis of seva is just through creating that atmosphere of Gyan and Yoga. So Baba says, and you see how many souls from so many different cultures and speaking different languages, they came to recognize Baba, they came to recognize their spiritual identity, they came to recognize their purpose, that we have to go to the golden age. Through what? Through this creation of atmosphere. And Baba always tells us that, when you go to Madhuban, what is your aim? Your aim is to fill like the cloud and then rain. So, Baba says that you don't have to always keep, it's not like there's only one place with an atmosphere and everybody has to keep coming back and just trying to, miss that place and keep thinking that I have to go back to Madhuban, go back to Madhuban. But Baba says, you come to Madhuban and create Madhuban. You come to the center and create center. So Baba says that even when you are living in a place, just know that your main job, your main seva, your main duty is to create that atmosphere of Gyan and Yoga. And an atmosphere is created when there is a constant attitude which is knowledgeful, loveful, powerful, peaceful. And in order for your attitude to be so constant that it creates an atmosphere, Baba gives another important Shrimat, which is keep spinning the Swadershan Chakra. Because you see, we Brahmins, when we get up in the morning, we remember Baba, then obviously our heart has the most beautiful and clear intent that we want to behave knowledgefully, powerfully, lovefully all through the day, or we want to have a soul conscious attitude towards each other, and all of that is very clear. But what is the problem? Why is it that we are not able to accomplish what we intend to? So the main problem is Maya. Yes, and Maya conquers over us many a times. And why does Maya win? Because Baba says that Maya wins because your stage, your consciousness is low. So, Baba says that Maya is as powerful as you are weak. So, your weakness is Maya's strength. And this is why, if we want to fight with Maya, win over Maya, you don't have to do anything with Maya. You have to work on your stage, your state, your strength. And Baba says that will happen. Your stage will stay elevated. You will stay in your power if you constantly spin the Swadershan Chakra. And if we think about the Swadershan Chakra, the opposite of the Swadershan Chakra is the Pardarshan Chakra. So, what do you keep spinning all day? Pardarshan Chakra. And what is Pardarshan? Pardarshan means seeing the other, and Swadershan means seeing the self. Now, let's understand Pardarshan first. So, seeing the other means when your intellect's yoga is with the body and the world around you. That is Pardarshan. Now, let's take one simple example. Let's say there is an illness in the body. There is cough or cold or fever or something in the body. Is it there in the soul or is it there in the body? Is the body coughing or the soul coughing? So the body is coughing. Who has fever? The body has fever. But you see that you keep thinking about the body, and then the soul also has fever. The soul is also feeling weak. And the soul is not in a state to, create powerful thoughts, create thoughts of hope, or there is other attack of Maya, irritation, anger, all of that comes in. And I was just yesterday thinking, because we are in Seva, so, it's a very good experience that I have, that suppose the body has fever, then what happens is, when you are in Seva, you have to at least, get up and meet somebody if they come, or, something or the other has to be done. And then what happens is, automatically because of that, you detach yourself from the body and you tell yourself, I am fine, the body is ill, I, the soul, have to talk through the mouth, so it is fine and I can do that. Or I can take the class because I, the soul, have to speak Baba's knowledge through the mouth. And then what happens is, instead of the body affecting the soul, the spiritual fervor, the enthusiasm, the happiness of the soul starts affecting the body. And then I have seen that, the fever, which usually lasts for 4 or 5 days, will just go away in one day or maybe half a day. Or, even if there is coughing or something, it will go away after some time. Or even if it's there, it's not a problem, everything will function well. So, but the main key is, what is your intellect's yoga connected with? Because wherever your intellect's yoga is, that thing will start affecting you. So, if there is a relationship issue, if there is a finance issue, and there is this very important law, either something will affect you or you will affect it. Either you will be affected or you will affect it. Now, if you are affected by what is happening outside or in the body, then the chances that you will be able to affect it or change it or influence it is nil. So, this is why it is very important to always create this habit, because you see, people say habits die hard. And I once wrote an article about creating good old habits. So, just like there are bad habits, and people say that it's a habit, so I can't give it up, even if the atmosphere or the times are not supporting the habit, still they can't give it up. So we saw in COVID that even the government had to say that okay, the alcohol shops have to open because people are not able to give up the habits. So you see, habits die hard, but Baba says people have created those bad habits, but similarly you can create good habits. And when you create a habit, when you create a sanskar, when you create a practice, that practice which you do in conducive times, in favorable times, the strength of that habit you will be able to feel in times which are unfavorable. So this is why Baba says that create this habit of doing swadarshan rather than pardarshan. Keep thinking about who am I. And when you say swadarshan, seeing yourself, it means seeing yourself in your whole journey, not seeing yourself as you are right now. No, I'm a soul and I don't see myself just in my present sanskars. These present sanskars are a very small phase, you see, in a span of 5,000 years. What is 1 year or 2 year or 20 years or 30 years? My journey is much, much more longer than this. And I see myself in my totality. So try to always move your intellect in this visualization, in this in creating this awareness of who you really are in your totality, and keep using your intellect to go and experience your state in the soul world. So do you see that in the soul world you sit like a star, absolutely constant and unmoving, and no thoughts other than the state of peace. So just take your awareness there and just see yourself how you can sit like a star in your state of constant peace forever. So there is no sense of time in the soul world. You don't keep waiting until when do I have to sit here. You just be, you just continue to be. There is no question about how long do I have to be this. So just take your awareness to that world of light where you're sitting like a star of peace, just being yourself, and there is no thought about until when. So I've seen that even when we sit in Baba's room, there was somebody who told me a few days back that we should have a clock in Baba's room. I said, no, Baba's room is for you to experience the world of timelessness. So you don't have to put a clock in Baba's room, because then you will always be time conscious. And in this world we are conscious of so many things, and there is a big consciousness of time. But you see that in the soul world there is no consciousness of time, and you cannot be if you're time conscious. You can, in this world of doing, there is always time consciousness, and people say timetable, managing the timetable, and they want you to switch instantly from one role to the other very, very swiftly, because you want to be time conscious and you want to live by the clock. But Baba says in the soul world there is no clock, there is no time, and you just be yourself, and there is no thought about until when. And just try to be in that state where there is no consciousness of time, there is no consciousness of body or the old world or anything else. And then the second stage is when I, the soul, am in a body, I am in a world of nature, I am with other souls, but there is no trace of vice. And everything I do is from a place of love and purity. And it is a very good exercise to engage in, because you see that in this world, whatever we do is based on ego. Yes, and ego, the main objective of ego is always to position yourself as greater than others. So you are always trying to feed your ego, and everything you do is to make you feel greater than others. And even in your thoughts, you see, in your privacy also, when you're thinking, you're not thinking about what it really is. You're thinking in a manner where you can position yourself as right and the other person as wrong, and everything around you as bad and you as good. So that's ego based thinking. When you're speaking to win. When you're doing something, you're doing everything to be appreciated and recognized, and this and that. So it's such an ego based world where everything is done out of ego. And if when your ego is not fed, then what do? You ask, why should I do this? So if it is not feeding my ego, if it is not if somebody is not recognizing my effort, then why should I do it? But you see, in the golden age and silver age, there is no ego. You are not operating from a place where you want to assert your ego through your thought, word, and action. You are just coming from a place of pure love, pure peace, pure joy, purity, and you are just being you're just creating that world of harmony through your actions and interactions. And it's not about who is greater than who. So the king is taking care of the subjects without the ego that I'm a king, but knowing that it is my nature to serve and care. So it's naturally coming, that care and serving is coming naturally. And in this world, even if we take care of the children we give birth to, after some years we tell them, we took care of you, we did this for you and we did that for you. And the child also comes back and says that, okay, why did you do it? I didn't ask for it. So you see that it's such a ego based world, and there even the king is taking care of the subjects very naturally, because it's his nature to do that. Love is the nature, whether it is the subject or the king. Every soul is loveful, pure, peaceful, and just go and sit for some time in that consciousness of the golden age, where you are being and doing everything egolessly, and you are doing it. And it is very surprising, that when you look around in this world, nothing is being done without ego. Nothing is being done without selfish motive. And in the soul and in the golden age, there is nothing that is done with ego or with selfish motive, or with the motive to get something. So that's the kind of actions we perform in Satyug. And this is why, while performing actions, we are very light. And here, every action is giving rise to anxiety and tension, because, after doing it, you have to think about, the getting of it. So as soon as you do something, you're fixated with whether it is giving me the return for which I did it. And that's why every action that you're doing is making you heavier and heavier. And then from the copper age, you know that Baba fulfills the wishes of Bhagats through our worship worthy forms. And in the temples, you see yourself, sitting like a deity, and Baba fulfilling every Bhagat's wish through your figurine, through your drishti, through your face, and just see how you are. And when you see yourself in the worship worthy stage, Pujya Swarup, in that form, it is very beautiful to notice that how Sakshi Drashta you are. You're such a detached observer. And you see that the most remarkable quality of a deity figurine is their constant state of happiness and smile, despite the Bhagat being themselves. So, every devotee is coming and they are being themselves, because you see, if somebody has anger, they will give the deity their anger. They start complaining, criticizing, crying, wailing, whatever, and everybody is doing their bit and they are being themselves. But the deity is absolutely in its state of bliss and peace and very stable state of being a detached observer. And then also along with that, the deity is becoming an instrument to give what Baba wants to give the devotee, because the devotee is actually giving his wishes to Baba through the deity. So when you just see yourself in that state, then you also invoke your sanskars of being a detached observer and nourishing everybody with your good wishes and feelings. And this is the third stage that we practice in Swadarsan Chakra. And then the fourth stage is the stage of a Brahmin through whom Baba changes this world into heaven, and a Brahmin who is completely obedient, faithful, and somebody who is disciplined, and you invoke those qualities in you. A Brahmin who says Hanji to everything Baba says, and a Brahmin who is completely in consonance with Baba's Shrimad, and a Brahmin who is fully surrendered through the buddhi and carries out whatever Baba instructs him to do. And when you invoke this stage, you realize what kind of a Hanuman you are. So you see that, we read in the Shastras about this character where Hanuman is at the service of God all the time. And we are those Hanumans. So, we are in imperfect bodies and we are Baba's, servers right now. And Baba says, I make you from a monkey to a person residing in a temple. Bandar se mandir like. So Baba says, I make you perform this journey, and here I am, that Hanuman who is absolutely dedicated and obedient and surrendered to Baba, and whatever Baba says from morning till the night, I just do that. So that is the Brahman state. And then I change into an angel, and as an angel I am a pure instrument. There is absolutely no interference, and I am like this absolute conduit which is taking Baba's energy to every soul. So you see that in the world today, people don't talk about God a lot, they talk about angels. Why? Because they feel the presence of God through angels. So Baba says, if you embody all the love and peace and joy and power and purity that I'm sending your way, then you transition into this angel whose company, whose touch every soul feels, and they also feel, emancipated and free from their sorrows by seeing the presence of these angels. So these angels are able to give them the touch and taste of peace and joy and love in a time and in a situation where their hearts are crying out of sorrow. So Baba says that is your angelic state. And Baba says, if you keep rotating this Swadarsan chakra and keep creating this habit, then what happens is, whenever there is an attack of Maya, you don't ask, you don't focus on what's happening out there, you focus on who am I. And then what happens is, who you are is more powerful than what's happening around, because it is your focus of attention which makes what is happening around more or less powerful. Okay, Om Shanti.